It's the first day of another month, and you know what that means for the BookTube community or the BookTube world is that means our monthly wrap-ups. I did read 4 books. 2 of them were for school, so technically saying I did read 2, but that's fine because, you know, it's May, and we all know what May means. That means end of the year exams, you know, you have finals going on, you have more homework, you have a lot of stuff that you have to do, and again, you don't get that much time reading. I do know that in this month, June, I will be reading a lot, and hopefully I will get up more reading vlogs as well, right? Okay, but anyways, let us just start off with what we read. All right. So the first book that we started off with the month with was a book that I wanted to reread. This was also in a video, which I'll have linked in the description below, which was my sister picks the books I read. And this book was a book that I read last year, actually. And it's in another video, which I know it's confusing because the video of my thoughts that it came up, it's kind of confusing because I do not have my order straight, but the first time I read it was in Destiny Sidwell's 5-Star Reads. I have 2 more books for you for that one. They're 2 fantasy, so it's been taking a while to read because I read a fantasy and then another fantasy and then another fantasy. So again, fantasy is a little bit there, but my first time was reading was in that video. But then my second time reading it was in this month and the my sister picks books I read. Alright, so that is Emily Henry Happy Place. I really wanted to give this book another chance, and maybe I will again when I'm older or something, I don't know. But I wanted to read this book because I've seen everyone rave about it. I did read Bee Tree by her last year, which I really did like. And this book I gave a 2 stars, like I did the first time. I don't know what it is, again, it just wasn't grasping my attention, but it was also kind of like one of those things in the beginning, like, for the first 20-60 pages, I was in the story, I liked the story a lot, I knew what was happening and all this stuff. And then you go on to a little bit where it's just Harriet, who's the main character, who is just going, go to your happy place. And she is at her happy place, which is at this house that her best friend's family has, that they spend every summer there, and they have for a while. And then her boyfriend, her boyfriend comes in, and that's it. And then her and her boyfriend like broke up, went apart, and then kind of now, and then they went back on the ship because they again were in the same writing group. But the family is selling the houses. It's just, I would say something that I thought it was a good book. No, I didn't. And it was just something that was annoying because again, all you had was Harriet kind of going, go back to your happy place. And I do not like when people have to repeat like multiple times going to a happy place. Now, yes, do I like the back versions? Do I like the backstory? Yes, but I don't really care for the constantly, oh, go to your happy place instead of just like having, I don't know. I just didn't care for it, didn't like it, and maybe I will one day, but that was not today. The next book I had to read was for school. This one, yeah. Okay, this one was a book that I had to read for school, and there was a movie that came out on it. My dad, actually, we went to go see a movie. I went to go see a movie with my dad, and the trailer came on for this movie, and he saw that he saw what the book was. He saw what the movie was, and he was like, is that the book you have to read? And yes, so I had to read The Boys in the Boat by, who's this? Daniel James Brown. And to be honest with you, again, I am not into that fiction. No, wait, what? I'm not into that, like, biography kind of stuff. Like, I'm not into learning about someone's real life. I like learning about fictional people and their lives and like the people creating a story and stuff. I would say, and also again, it was about people rowing a boat, and I don't really care about the sport of rowing a boat, nor have I never heard of someone rowing a boat. So again, it's not really what I like in reading in a book. But again, this would definitely be something for if you like reading about someone's life stuff. This, I think I said my rating, but I gave it a 1 star because for the boring. Now, because it is someone's life, I kind of feel mean. Okay, now, I don't know why I'm clarifying, but yes, it is about someone's life. It doesn't mean I gave someone's life a 1 star. It just I didn't care for this particular book. Alright, the next book I read this was another book for school, and that was The Red Bandana by Tom, I'm not even going to say the last name. Anyway, so this book is about this guy named Wellis who worked in the South Tower in the World Trade Center. This is about 9/11, and this is about a dude who got killed, but he was saving people's lives. He was helping the firefighters and everything else. There are some, just want to say, if you aren't someone who likes gory, there's not that many gory scenes, but there are gory scenes, and I think it is this book, but we do all know that sadly people did jump from the towers, and they did die from jumping at the towers. And I think in this book you kind of hear about it, people jumping. 9/11 is definitely something in history that I'm definitely interested in and definitely like learning. And I think that also the reason why is because it didn't happen like 80 years ago. It did happen about 20 years ago. So it's something that's kind of fairly recent. And I just kind of thought I've always liked it ever since I learned about it. So learning about it from a book and someone kind of saving these people's lives and stuff, and just kind of hearing also about not even people that Wells worked with or he knew, kind of just people's lives changing, and how they didn't die, or how something as just a small decision, kind of how someone was either late for work or decided to like sleep in a little bit because they were getting up and going to work for a while. So that was definitely something. I did give this a 2 stars. Again, it was good. I think, again, the only part I liked about it, because again, I didn't really care for learning about Wells' backstory, even though we did need to know that for this story. I just didn't care for that. I cared for the more of the 100, not even 100 pages, because this is, how many pages is this? This is about 211 pages. And the only thing I really cared about was really kind of learning about what he did in the towers while 9/11 happened and stuff like that. But that was definitely something there. So again, I liked it. I would recommend it again for someone who is interested in that. And again, it's for someone who likes learning about someone's life. Again, I do not care really about someone's life. Again, I only care about like the action, fun, not really fun part about it, but the action part of it. I do care about learning. The last book I read, which was a very interesting one that I read during the time that I did, and this one was the one, I feel like all the books I read this month were like a 2 star, 1 star, but this one was actually a good one. This one is actually a book that I did like. Alright, this one is a sequel to The Shining, which is called Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. This book, this is going to be in a video that is not up yet, but hopefully it'll be up later. So you will already hear my review for it, but my review is a 4 star. I did like it. I thought it was a good book. Yeah, and I think it was a very interesting, cool book. And it was definitely kind of interesting to learn more about The Shining and what it really is. Because this one you get more background of The Shining. You also did get to learn, because you know in The Shining about more people that have it, but this time you learn that there's a lot more people that have it. But also what it is, it's also in The Shining, you kind of know, so you know that there's powers and stuff kind of related to it, but you don't really learn the powers and stuff. And this one you learn that not only do they see ghosts, but they also have powers. There's a lot of other stuff and with it. So This book evolves really around, it does evolve around Dan, who he is older and sadly did follow into his dad's footsteps where he was a drunk person, but he did get sober. Just saying, he got sober. So he did that, but then it also follows Abra. Anyway, that definitely was it. I did also see the movie, did like it. This is my second Stephen King book, and I love Stephen King. I think his writing is really good and really just kind of amazing, and I just love the stories that he tells. And yeah, I do definitely recommend it. I do recommend this book for people who like Stephen King, who maybe even want to get into Stephen King. Maybe here's also one thing. I would say, from what I did, I started off with The Shining. Now, by the way, that wasn't my first ever Stephen King thing that I watched or read, or like my first Stephen King. Okay. When I was younger, I thought I was sneakily watching it, but I wasn't. So I was watching it, and that was like my very first like Stephen King, and that's something that I do love. Like, I still love it. Like, it is definitely my favorite Stephen King thing. But I would definitely say, because another thing I've only did and read was The Shining. So again, The Shining is definitely up there. I do definitely like this. Read it. Maybe I will do a video for that. I don't know. The book is 1,000 pages though, and yeah. Here's what I should also say about Stephen King, which I kind of like and I kind of don't like. There is something to where he writes, where he has like one particular storyline and then it goes to like another completely different thing. But they do connect at the end. Like, they all go together at the end. But it's just kind of interesting how how there's just this one storyline, then there's another, and there's another. So you're kind of like following a couple. Like in this book, you've kind of followed, they all did connect and stuff, but you were kind of really following in the beginning. And for a good chunk of this book, you're following 3 point of views. Kind of, and you're really truly following 3 point of views, but that was it. But that's it for my May reading wrap up. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I do want to get out more reading vlogs this month. I do have a feeling, because I am on break and I don't really have to do, there's pretty much no schoolwork right now. That's great. I should be able to have enough time to do more reading vlogs. Hopefully I can get up, do Stephen King, and finish off Destiny Sidwell's 5-star reads. The reason why Destiny's theme song is because, again, fantasy, sometimes fantasy is very difficult to read, like, one after another, sometimes. And then hopefully we can get up some summer, maybe I can do like a summer reading vlog, and then we'll see what else happens. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a good night today, wherever you are, and goodbye.